Hi everyone, I'm Zorine from Esports Network. I'm joined today by Locodoco, coach of the Golden Guardians. Hello Loco, how are you?
Hi Zorine. I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was a little bit rough, you guys going into that first game, of course. First game of the NA LCS. What were your feelings like coming into this weekend?
To be honest, I've never actually won the first game of LCS ever in my coaching career, if I can remember correctly.
Okay.
So, it just felt normal. So the first week is really weird because you don't have a lot of data on what's being played around the world. There's some data, but everyone's still trying to figure things out. And you also don't have a lot of data on what your opponents like to do. And you also don't have data on, there's definitely practicing and executing something in scrims versus practicing and executing something on stage. Those are two completely different things. So you don't have a lot of data everywhere. So you're sort of going into things blind. And yeah, I mean, it didn't work out too well for us.
So all according to plan, I guess, is the way you're saying?
It's more so we're walking into things with little information and we gave it our best shot and it just didn't go too well.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, to be honest, I think Golden Guardians have copped a lot of unfair flack from the internet and I guess the reception of this roster. But, you know, dealing with all that pessimistic stuff, like, how do you go about, like, how do you feel when you look at all that stuff?
So I've been online and a public figure for a long time, and if you let what the internet thinks of you dictate how you carry yourself or how you feel about the team, then you're just not going to make it. So even on TSM, we would be doing well for the entire year, and we do badly once, and people would either call for my heads or blame players unfairly. So, I mean, the public is going to be really brutal, and they're going to be very flip-floppy. So, I mean, I just don't care, to be honest. Like, people hating us and people disliking us, that's just part of being an online figure, part of being a public figure, part of being a team that competes online. So, I mean, it's just what it is.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of like the interviews and stuff, you know, that you guys have put out in regards to the roster and the team, the term long-term growth has been used a lot. What does that actually mean?
So when you think NBA and NFL, right, players stay on their teams for years and years. Sometimes players start on a team or they get drafted by a team and they end their career on a team. So for example, I'm pretty sure Steph got drafted by Golden State Warriors, and that's the only team he's ever played on. So for League, that's extremely, extremely rare, and esports in general. Usually you start out on a lower level team, and then you get better, and then you go to a better team, and then you get better, and then you go to an even better team. But now with franchising and all 10 teams being pretty capable and pretty equal, I think you're going to see longer and longer relationship between players and teams. And that's what we really want to do, because every year, by us coaching the players, by paying them a salary, by treating them well, we're investing into the players and like growing their brand and growing our brand with it. And vice versa, we want the player to be invested into us. And every time you switch teams and every time you get a new player, you regress in a certain way. Of course, by getting a different player, you can improve the team, but also you're starting over and you're breaking the synergy that you're developing with the player. So long-term growth means committing to a player long-term and them growing with us and being the best possible home for them and allowing the most growth possible. And hopefully they like us. Hopefully they feel like our brand is attractive, our coaching staff is attractive, how we treat them is attractive, and they invest back into us with a long-term contract and re-signing for the future. So that's what long-term growth means to us.
So you're saying basically, you know, even if the results aren't favorable, say to like by the end of like 1 or 2 years, you would still want to see the same roster be retained?
I mean, if results aren't favorable by 2 years, I think I've done a terrible job. If like by 2 years, like if our results aren't good, what I want to see is maybe we don't make playoffs this year. Maybe we do make playoffs. I personally feel like that's a very good goal for us to shoot for and for us to grow. We don't have to go to Worlds, we don't have to win NA, but we need to show growth and we need to get better. And that's what I personally want to show. And you don't stay on a team necessarily just because of winning, but that is the primary reason. So we have to show the players and we also have to show the organization that we can get better and we can be competitive like as years go on. Yeah.
Speaking of growth, it's so funny coming into NA LCS this weekend. Obviously, 2018 is like the start of franchising, and just coming here today, especially like we had Reginald come in, he drove his Lambo in. You know, you guys brought out like the NBA championship trophy. How does it feel to be in a position now where like these things are happening and you're a part of it all?
To be honest, I've been part of esports for so long. Like Golden State Warriors coming in and me being their coach, that was surreal. Like talking to Kirk Lakeups, who's the assistant GM, like this guy works with Kevin Durant, this guy works with Steph Curry. Like this guy manages the best probably sports organization in the world, maybe even. So like working with them, like that's surreal, but like the trophy and like the cars, like that's just extra. Like I'm proud and I'm like really happy to be part of the Golden State Warriors organization for their professionalism and the things they have achieved in basketball, not to like brag about like, oh, we're Golden State Warriors, like come look at our trophy.
Yeah, right. It's so funny as well because like you're sitting here like in a suit and a tie and you're like, oh, so formal looking, and I'm like, I'm esports. But the other thing I wanted to ask you about as well, you've also been doing some content. I guess it's interesting because you have like this content creator side of things where you're creating like a YouTube channel and stuff. What's the goal there?
So with my YouTube channel, it's more so I do want to grow as a creator and I do want to have more of a voice in the scene, and I do want to have my own voice and be able to project that and be part of the community and also give back to the community in a way. I actually haven't made a single piece of content ever since we started more practice. A lot of it was backlogged. I filmed it and I just gave it off to my editor. It's something I wish I could do more of, but coaching just takes up majority of my time and it is my first priority.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Loco. And any final messages for your fans out there or people watching, or the haters even?
I think you guys will learn to like us whenever we bring you guys results by how we treat our players, by how we grow. We're not the flashiest team. We didn't get the 5-star players, but franchise means different kind of League of Legends, and it means something different for esports. It means long-term sustainability. It means actually growing with the players, actually growing with the team, actually growing with the franchise. So I'm under no disillusion that we're not going to be Reddit's favorite team, but one day we will be, and I hope you guys are keeping an open mind.
Awesome. Well, you heard it here first, folks. If you want to see more League of Legends content, be sure to check us out, Esports Network.